For our final guest of the 9 weeks, we are joined by 2023 graduate of Velma Jackson, Shania Jackson. Cool that I just now realized you had the same name. It took me all these years to finally figure that out. But current freshman at Holmes Community College, one of our favorite alums, one of our favorite students of all time. We thank you so much for joining us. I've got a room full here of my CCRB class at Velma Jackson, and we are recording this for all of our friends at Madison Central, Ridgeland, Germantown, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So I know you're up and coming YouTuber yourself. So thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, we're obviously going to talk about your Holmes experience because I know you've come up with a lot of tactics that I think could be useful for seniors getting ready to transition into college that you've shared with me that I think make a lot of sense when it comes to how to get used to academics. But take us back to your high school experience. You were a cheerleader and involved in a lot of things here at Velma Jackson. So take us back through your high school experience, the things you were involved in here, and how that prepared you to make your college decision.
Well, when I started ninth grade year, it was very, very hard and stressful because I was freshman. I was in cheer. I was trying to do all these things at once. But you just have to get used to certain things. It's just certain things that come with being a high schooler or being a freshman. You're meeting all these new people. And then if you're very social, you want to be in all these social activities. Being in cheer wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but I did skip my 10th and 11th grade year without cheer, and I joined cheer again my 12th grade year. Some things were hard to understand, especially when you're in extracurricular activities while trying to keep all A's and B's or stay on the honor roll, or you wanna feel so proud of yourself because I'm in this and I have A's and B's on my report card, and it's just certain things that you have to get used to. When I graduated, I didn't have a mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna get this job and I'm gonna get all this money after school. I'm gonna do big and I'm gonna just be rich. I'm just get all this money. I didn't have that. I didn't even know what I was gonna do when I graduated high school. I didn't know if I was gonna go to college. I didn't know if I was gonna get a job. I didn't even know if I could get a job after college. After high school. But I did go to Holmes. And I figured that I wanted to go to Holmes like my 10th, 11th grade year because of how you and Coach Drain were teaching me, like, okay, you can't just rely on one school. And a community college is, whether people look at it like that or not, it's a great start for college because you're getting used to things, and it's just certain classes that you have to get used to. I go to the Homes in Ridgeland, and it's not the main campus, so it's going to be different. It's a lot of teachers that they don't have that I would have to get on Zoom calls with to learn a lesson and complete assignments. There are some night classes that I have. There are some 8 a.m. classes that I have. There are classes that I have that are 12 o'clock in the evening, but I still make it work. And it's way difficult. It's way more difficult when you have a job and in college, and you have all these different schedules between your job and college. Sometimes, and especially.
Now, I was going to say, you originally were going to go to Holmes and Goodman, but
right.
You made that change right before you graduated. So I do want to hear why you kind of changed your mind, because we've had some students go to Goodman and had good experience that wanted to live on campus, but you chose to stay at home and go to Ridgeland, which also, and I agree, it really is what you make of it. And it's also convenient to where you're working. So talk about that decision, because I think we have some kind of on the fence about that right now.
I chose to go to the Ridgeland one because it's not a housing campus. So I'm able to get used to just doing lessons instead of living on campus. It's just way more comfortable, and it's closer to home. I'm from Canton, Mississippi. Ridgeland is way closer and way more comfortable. Yeah, that's why I chose it, because it's closer. There's no housing. You get out of there by 3, 4 o'clock in the evening. It's kind of like a high school schedule.
But it really is still giving you the college experience because I know you spend time on campus studying.
Right.
And you really and you've gotten that relationship with your professors already. So it's not like high school where they're going to stay on top of you. You have to be proactive and take that initiative in order to get the knowledge and the relationship you need.
Yeah. It was kind of hard getting to know the teachers up there because you don't want to meet new teachers. You want to have the same teacher that you had in high school. So it was very difficult, but they're the same as the high school teacher. They're still gonna help you out. They're still gonna stay after class if you need help. Like it's just you have to let go of the standards or the things that people are telling you about college. Not all colleges are the same.
Yeah, and also it's all about going the place that fits for you. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is your application process because I know these seniors are sick of all of us talking about FAFSA, Mississippi Financial Aid, fill out this, fill out that. But I always try to say this isn't my deadline. This is the state of Mississippi, the government, and Holmes Community College or Hines Community College or wherever's deadline. You can say you want to go there all day long, but I've literally seen seniors the week before graduation telling me they haven't finished everything. So talk about your application process and why it's important to stay on top of that.
It's very important to stay on top of your application process because you never know who's going to take your spot when you're applying. Like you could be applying right now or a couple months back, and then your spot will be locked just like that. If you wait too late and then you expect to be accepted and you're not accepted, you can't just be like, oh my God, like what do I do? You can't panic because you had time and you didn't take time.
Now, also, me and you have talked over the last few months. You've come up with some tactics and some practices that work for you because, I don't care how great a student you are in high school. It is an adjustment no matter where you go to college and no matter what you study in college. And you've come up with some practices for yourself that have helped you stay on top of your academics. So talk about some of the things that you've made into a routine when it comes to studying and reviewing material.
Um, when studying and reviewing material, for college, especially because you have different type of schedules, because you never know when your teacher is available. Always make sure that you're doing assignments 1 or 2 days ahead of time. Don't wait till the day of and then just do it at 11:59 and you be like, oh my God, I have to rush. Don't do that because then your mind is gonna start going everywhere. You're gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta complete this and this and this. You gotta pace yourself, especially if it's something that you don't know what you're doing. You have to pace yourself.
And also, you recently just started a job at Barnes and Noble, which is convenient to your campus. But talk about how you're balancing that schedule, and also something that I like is that so many of these kids, and I would say not just the kids here at Velma Jackson, but kids in your generation, they want to go get the easy, go work the fast food place, which is fine when you're a sophomore, junior in high school. But as you graduate, it's we always talked about, well, I know Drain did as well, talking about refining those face-to-face skills. And I know you're working with customers face-to-face and you're working on those verbal skills that are needed in whatever field you go into. And not only that, you're having to balance a schedule with school. So talk about, what skills you are gaining from having that job at Barnes and Noble and how you're balancing that schedule.
The skills I'm gaining is number one is definitely patience. Working at any type of customer service or anything like that, you have to have patience, especially if there are customers coming up to you and asking for these outrageous things or things you don't even have. You have to have patience. You have to pace yourself. Don't let customers see you stressing about something that they ordered or not seeing you do the things correctly because then they're gonna think, okay, she can't do this when really you're just panicking. You have to take a breath and just do it with ease. Um, uh, I've definitely learned how to get along with people because everybody has different personalities. Um, some personalities don't clash, don't mix well together. Some personalities clash. Can't let customers see that. No matter what's going on, you cannot let the customer see. Okay, these two don't get along. Oh my God, what's going on? No, you can't do that. You have to make it seem like this is a sisterhood. This is a brother and a sisterhood. You can't do that.
Yeah, and also, um, you've had to balance that schedule. So how are you managing your time? Because a lot of kids have told me, look, I want to go to college, I want to work part-time, either whether they're working on campus or off campus. So what are some ways you're balancing that time when you have commitments to both?
Um, you definitely have to communicate with your managers or your employees, like, hey, I can't work this day or this time. I have to work after this time, so you can manage with your schedule. Like I have a 5:30 class, 5:30 to 17 at night. Okay, my manager has me working from 12 to 5 p.m. and then I have 30 minutes to get to class. And originally, homes and originally is right down the street from Barnes and Noble, so it's very convenient. I have more than enough time to get there. You just have to communicate, especially when it's days when you have two classes. It's a class at 8 something in the morning, it's a class at 12 something. Okay, you can work that night or just work a couple hours. It's all about um, having a conversation with your managers and employees.
Now, before I get to the students' questions, I did want to mention about Holmes because obviously we still have people making decisions. Holmes not only has the great scholarships for ACT, they famously don't have classes on Friday. So,
Yeah,
uh, so Holmes is Monday through Thursday. So if you wanted to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some people need. I understand everybody's situations are different. You may need to work 3 days a week. Holmes could be a good fit for you because even the certificate and career programs are also only Monday through Thursday.
right. I didn't even know that it was Monday through Thursday until I started going to homes. It's very convenient now that I have a job because the weekends are the rush days for Barnes and Nobles. So I can't go to school and then work for a couple hours. I can't do that.
Yeah, so I agree. If somebody wants to have a part-time job while they're in college, Holmes could be a great fit because you're able to get a lot of hours over the weekend. You don't have to work as much during the week, and you are able to really balance. So I love that. Now I want to get to as many of these questions as I can. First one is Cornell Bacon, senior, uh, plays a lot of sports here, but he asked, "What was the hardest part about transitioning from high school to going to college, coming from a small school to a larger class size in college?"
Um, the hardest thing was probably the mindset. I always thought that college was going to be this outrageous, just crazy, chaotic situation, but it's not. You just have to breathe. It is more learning that you have to do, especially if your teachers are busy. You have to learn sometimes on your own. You have to take time out to study and everything like that. It's not high school. You cannot sit here and tell your teacher, hey, I didn't meet this deadline. Can you take it anyway? No, they're not going to take off just 10, 15 points. They're going to zero real quick. It's not like high school.
I agree. This is Dietrich Carter. Plays a lot of sports here as well. And he asked, looking back on your first year of college, what is one thing that you wish you would have known ahead of time?
Um, don't try to be so quick with certain things. Like don't it's not simple work. They're not gonna take these fifth grade, sixth grade level sentences in your essays. You have to use the thesaurus, use the dictionary, use whatever you need to do to put in certain vocabulary words that you need to put in, certain transition words, everything like that. They're not gonna take mediocre work. They're not gonna take it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point because, and first of all, you got a great library there on the Holmes campus. But, going to community college, and I say this all the time, and you heard me say this, these community colleges want you to transfer to a 4-year university once you finish. So it's their job to prepare you for that. So I agree. They're not going to take elementary, middle school level work when they're trying to prepare you to get to that next university level. All right, I like this one. This is Christian Mitchell. She also plays a lot of sports here, and she asked, "What was your main motivation in picking Holmes, and did you look at any other colleges?"
I did look at other colleges. I looked at Hines, I looked at LSU. LSU is my dream college. So of course I've looked at many other colleges. And I've picked Holmes because it's closer. I know I'm gonna have to get comfortable with going to college first before I go to any other colleges farther away, whether it's a community college or a 4-year college.
Oh, I like this one. This is RJ Jones. He's a junior. And man, he's deep on this one. What fundamental values or principles do you believe are essential for guiding your decisions and actions throughout your college experience?
Um, always keep a positive mindset. Don't start getting worried about certain grades. Like if you just made a C on this major test, okay, there's gonna be others. If you just if you need a break, a mental break from school, especially if you have work with school, take that mental break. Okay, just email your teacher, hey, I'm gonna I'm gonna be a little late. It's gonna still be on time, but I'm gonna be a little late. Just take a breath, take a nap, drink coffee, whatever you need to do. Make sure you're mentally prepared for going to class and just keeping your grades up. Everything doesn't need to be done perfectly, but you still have to put in some type of effort.
I like this one. This is Selena Johnson, sister of your classmate Octavia Johnson. And she asked, since your first year of college is winding up, did it go how you thought? And what is your ultimate goal once you finish your time at Holmes?
It did not go how I thought it would go. I thought I would make way more friends. I thought everybody would be way more friendly, but they're not. Everybody is not going to college to be friends with people. You have to just focus on what your major is and keep it moving. The goals I want to reach when I graduate college, I am going to college for business management. I want to be able to do people taxes. I want to be able to have a marketing business. I want to be able to do real estate. I want to be able to do all these things that deal with numbers or marketing or just business in general. I want to, if somebody asks me a question out of the blue, hey, I know the answer to that real quick. Um, I also want to learn how to teach other people how to learn how to do marketing because it's not hard. It's a lot of numbers. That's all.
Yeah, and if I remember, you had some great questions from my mother when she was here talking about those very things. So I think it's important for everybody to make use of when you have people speaking about these things. And I know she'd love to hear from you if you needed help in that in the future. But make use of people that are experts already because you really picked her brain about some tough stuff that day because she talked about it later how impressed she was with you being able to ask those questions. I just got a couple more. This is Shania Kyle. And we got another Shania asking a Shania a question. So we were talking about that. We were laughing about that. It's one of our dancers here with the Blue Diamonds. She's a junior. And she asked, "What's the biggest challenge you have faced since you've been in college? And what would you give advice? What advice would you give someone who is waiting to the last minute to make their decision?"
I'm a procrastinator. I definitely am. Sometimes I will wait till 10 o'clock at night and my stuff is done. It's due at 11:59. Don't do that, especially if it's homework or a test or something like that. At least wait. At least do it a day or two before it's due because you have time. You have time to resume it the day after, resume it hours later. My advice to you, please do not procrastinate in college. If you're doing it in high school, you're not going to get away with it in college. There's going to be some type of consequence, and you're going to have to learn the hard way. Please take it from me. Do not procrastinate in college.
And not just with your work, but making your decision. I say it all the time. I stay asking, is your FAFSA done? Is your Mississippi financial aid done? Is your application in? And it's not that I need it, but I'm like, if this passed the deadline, they're going to give it to somebody else, like you said. So now is the time to learn to stay on top of those deadlines. Well, I just got one more, and this is Cam Murray, our Mr. VJ. So he asked the question I was going to ask you, but I'll let him ask it. Uh, has anything Coach Pygott told you about in class actually happened since you were in college?
Yes. Um, when you taught me how to write cover letters for jobs or for college, it definitely helped. They looked at my resume or my application really quickly. Taking the ACT serious, like you taught us to do, got me the scholarship that I haven't. I'm on the dean's list for
Wow.
the fall and for spring. Um, Definitely. Um, the grading is not hard for college. just like you're great and working hard. But just as long as you put in effort and the teachers see that you're putting in effort, they're gonna work with you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the ACT because that's what I try to stress. Because so many kids say, "Look, I want to go to college. My family can't afford it." You're able to get Holmes Community College has the best ACT scholarships I've ever heard of. So taking the ACT seriously, using those strategies can literally save your family thousands of dollars. And I'm glad you mentioned the cover letter and resume because I already told them when we get back from spring break, that's what we're going to hit hard. And the importance of that cannot be stated enough on how important it is to be able to write, to sell yourself on a job application and a job interview. So I appreciate you saying that. And and I know Coach Drain would say the same for her to hear you say that as well. Now we're almost out of time. And just to think, it was less than a year ago, you were sitting and listening to these same ones and actually using that to be a better college student. But, you know, and I also say we are so proud to call you an alum. I think I speak for so many people to say that we're just so proud to say you went to our school and have been a part of this community, and we're just so glad to see all the things you're doing. But you were walking these same hallways, sitting in these same chairs, sitting with these same teachers, growing up in the same community, and you were able to really turn something positive into that, or turn it into something positive. I got my words backwards. We're almost spring break. I'm messing up. So, you know, in just a few weeks, once we get back, these seniors are going to be graduating, and that train is coming whether they want it to or not. So, what can they do right now to mentally prepare for that transition that is coming?
Make sure you have a plan. And then you have that plan, have a backup plan. When you have that plan, have a backup plan. Everything's not gonna work out how you want it to work out. Probably 99.9% of the time, things are not gonna work out as planned. Always have a backup plan. If you plan on going to a community college, have another one in the back of your mind. If you plan on going to university first, have another one in the back of your mind. Apply for as many colleges as you possibly can. Don't stop at one or two colleges. I always try to study for your ACT. 19, 20 or up, get you half a scholarship, or sometimes get you a full scholarship. It's that easy. Like it's that easy to just take a breath, think about what you're doing, and just grab life by the handlebars.
Which you are doing. And again, I cannot express enough how proud we are of you and everything you're doing and you're going to continue to do. So, Shania Jackson, Velma Jackson, class of 2023, we thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, talk to you soon, buddy.